that we can have a conversation about their legacy. What are the things that they have done in the past and how they continue to have an impact on the sorts of issues that we're dealing with today. I will start with Elsie MacGill. Elsie MacGill, aeronautical engineer, born in 1905. And you can tell from the Canada Post stamp here that she's a well-known person. So Elsie was an electrical engineer. She started out in electrical engineering and graduated from the University of Toronto in 1927. She also got a master's degree, and she was the first woman with a master's degree in aeronautical engineering, which she got from the University of Michigan in 1929. She returned to Canada, and she was working as an engineer here in Montreal, well, in Longueuil actually, at Fairchild Aircraft throughout the 1930s. And then she got the opportunity to get into aircraft design. And this aircraft design job she got was a really important job. She was at the Canadian Car Foundry in Ontario, which is what we now call Thunder Bay. And she became the chief aeronautical engineer there in 1938. Of course, this was in preparation for World War II. They had to produce these aircraft. And what she did is she modified the design a little bit, and she retooled the factory for mass producing these Hawker Hurricane fighter planes for World War II. Extraordinarily important job, and so important and so well known that there was actually a comic strip that was written about Elsie MacGill. They called her Queen of the Hurricanes. And, you know, she was out there, she was directing things, she was making things work really well. Very, very celebrated woman. Now, I don't know if you can see on your screens, but if you look at the lower right, you get the sense that that's a crutch. She seems to be holding a crutch in this picture. And yes, indeed, Elsie spent a fair bit of time on crutches. She got polio. She contracted it when she was 24. Interestingly, her master's degree was conferred upon her in her hospital bed with polio. But she was such a remarkable woman, she didn't let polio stop her. In fact, here's a quote from somebody she worked with who said, "Her lameness struck me as an appalling affliction, but she obviously treated it as little more than a minor annoyance. It wasn't an obstacle, it wasn't a deterrent for her." In fact, when she was written about in some of the popular magazines at the time, she didn't even want people to refer to her, the fact that she needed crutches and canes to walk around. She truly overcame that challenge with grace, with style. Here are a couple of quotes from women that she worked with at Canadian Car Foundry. And so one woman at the time who was a riveter, and Elsie was her boss, but she said, you know, she was almost like the first man on the moon for women. She made a breakthrough for us in engineering, and we liked that. Another woman, a welder, was saying, you know, it made a lot of young women think about higher education to see I've done so well against all odds.